He's Just Not That Into You, by Greg Behrendt and Liz Tuccillo. Introduction. Imagine a room, buzzing with creative energy. It's the writer's room for one of the most iconic television shows ever made, Sex and the City. A group of brilliant, funny, successful women are gathered around a table, doing what friends have done for centuries, trying to decode the mysterious behavior of a man. One of the writers shares a story. She's been seeing a guy. He's giving her mixed messages. He said one thing, but did another. He seemed interested, but now he's distant. The room lights up with theories. He's just intimidated by you. He's probably scared of his feelings. He's never met a woman this amazing. Just give him time. It's a familiar chorus of reassurance, a comforting story we tell ourselves and our friends when faced with confusion. But on this particular day, there's a different voice in the room. A straight-talking consultant named Greg Behrendt. He listens quietly to the story, and to all the well-intentioned excuses. And when they're done, he leans in and says 6 simple, world-changing words. Listen, he's just not that into you. Silence. The air goes out of the room. It was a truth so brutally simple, so direct, that in a combined 100 years of dating experience, these women had never considered saying it out loud. And in that moment, a cultural phenomenon was born. That single sentence became the basis for a book that would sell millions of copies, become a major motion picture, and fundamentally change the way we talk about dating. The authors, Greg Behrendt and Liz Tuccillo, didn't just write a relationship guide. They offered a key to a locked door, a door that, once opened, could lead you to a place of profound clarity and freedom. Today, we're going to walk through that door. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you will be armed with a simple, powerful filter that will save you from countless hours of anxiety and years of wasted time. This isn't about learning a set of rules. It's about understanding one fundamental truth that, once you see it, you can never unsee. Book summary. At the heart of our journey today is a very simple, and perhaps a little uncomfortable, idea. Men are not complicated. It's a strange thing to say, because we've been taught the opposite. We've been told that men are mysterious creatures, driven by complex fears and hidden traumas from their childhood. We build elaborate narratives to explain their behavior. He's busy with work. He's just gotten out of a bad relationship and needs to take it slow. He's afraid of ruining the friendship. He's intimidated by strong, successful women. We create these stories because they're comforting. They allow us to hold on to hope. They transform a clear signal of disinterest into a puzzle that we, with enough patience and understanding, can solve. But the authors of this book have a message, and it's delivered with the kindness of a friend who has to tell you a hard truth. They say that these stories we tell ourselves, these excuses, are a complete waste of our time. And worse, they keep us stuck in situations that chip away at our self-esteem. The core message of the book is that there are no mixed messages. There is only the truth, and the excuses we make to avoid seeing it. When a man is truly into you, his actions will be clear, consistent, and direct. There will be no room for interpretation. He won't leave you wondering. He won't make you do the work. Because, as the author Greg Behrendt puts it, men are driven by a very simple instinct, to get what they want. And if he wants you, he will move mountains to make sure you know it. So let's start at the very beginning of it all. The chase. This is where the confusion so often begins. You meet a guy. Maybe he's a friend you've known for years, and one night, the energy shifts. He flirts with you, tells you how great you look. It feels like a date. You leave feeling excited, hopeful. And then, nothing. Days turn into weeks. You start to wonder, should you call him? Maybe he's just nervous about turning a friendship into something more. The book's answer is a clear and resounding no. The "I don't want to ruin the friendship" excuse, they argue, is one of the oldest rackets in the book. It sounds wise and considerate, but it's almost never the real reason. The truth is, a man doesn't mind risking a friendship if it means he could have a romantic relationship with a woman he's truly attracted to. The only thing he's afraid of ruining is the comfortable, no-strings-attached dynamic you already have. Or what about the intimidation excuse? You're successful, you're smart, you're beautiful. Maybe he's just intimidated by you. The book laughs this one off with a simple reality check. Men are not afraid of successful women, they're attracted to them. A man who is genuinely interested might need a little encouragement, a warm smile, a clear signal that you're open to his advance, but he will not need you to ask him out for him. As the authors put it, you might have to lead the horse to water, but you shouldn't have to help him ask you for a drink. This leads to a timeless and, for some, frustrating piece of advice: let him do the pursuing. This isn't about playing games or going back to the 1950s. It's about understanding a fundamental dynamic. Men, for the most part, like to pursue. They feel rewarded by the chase. When you have to do all the work, the calling, the planning, the initiating, it's often a sign that you're more invested than he is. And 9 times out of 10, it's because he's just not that into you. This is a hard pill to swallow, especially for strong, proactive women who are used to making things happen in every other area of their lives. Author Liz Tuccillo speaks directly to this frustration. She says, "Are we just supposed to sit around and wait? We're taught to work hard, to take action, to make our dreams a reality. But in this one area, we're being told to do nothing. It can feel insulting, like you're powerless." But here's the shift in perspective the book offers: true power isn't in the chasing. It's in the choosing. When you allow men to pursue you, you are the one in control. You get to decide who is worthy of your time and attention. Your only job, then, is to build a life that you love, a life so full and interesting that you're not just sitting around waiting for a phone call. Because a man who is truly into you will find a way to become a part of that beautiful life you've already created. He'll find your number. He'll show up. As one of the stories in the book illustrates, a man who was smitten with a woman he met on an aircraft carrier managed to track her down in the army. If he wants to find you, he will. Now, let's say he does call. He asks you out. You go on a few dates. But then, a new kind of confusion sets in. The calls become less frequent. He says he'll call on the weekend, but you don't hear from him until Wednesday. You start to hear that one word, over and over again: busy. Things are just crazy at work right now. I've got a lot on my mind. The book calls the word busy the relationship weapon of mass destruction. It seems like a legitimate excuse, but it's almost always a lie. Think about it. In a world of cell phones and speed dial, it's almost impossible not to call someone. The author jokes that he sometimes calls people by accident from his pocket. The truth is, if a man is into you, you are the bright spot in his busy day. A call to you isn't another task on his to-do list, it's a welcome break. Men are never too busy to get what they want. If he's not calling, it's because you are not on his mind. It's a harsh reality, but accepting it saves you from the agony of staring at your phone, willing it to ring. This principle extends beyond phone calls. It applies to dating itself. The book makes a crucial distinction between hanging out and dating. Hanging out is vague. It's meeting up at a bar with his friends. It's a last-minute text to see if you're free. Dating is intentional. It involves a plan, a one-on-one interaction, a clear statement of "I want to spend time with you and only you." Men who prefer hanging out are often avoiding the responsibilities of a real relationship. They want the benefits, your company, your affection, maybe even sex, without having to be accountable for your feelings. This is especially true for the guy who says he just got out of a relationship and can't have any expectations put on him. This is a classic trap. A man tells you he's not ready for a serious relationship, but he continues to spend time with you, sleep with you, and act like your boyfriend. You might think his actions speak louder than his words. But in this one case, the book urges you to listen to his words. When a man says, "I don't want to be anyone's boyfriend," what he really means is, "I don't want to be your boyfriend." He's telling you the truth. Believing you can change his mind is a recipe for heartbreak. A man who is truly into you will want to claim you. He'll want to be your boyfriend because he won't want to risk losing you to someone else. And this brings us to one of the most painful areas of confusion: sex. Let's be very clear. When a man is attracted to you, he wants to be physical with you. It's that simple. If he's not trying to kiss you, not trying to touch you, not trying to get you into bed, it's not because he's scared, or hurt, or tired. It's because he's not physically attracted to you. You might go on dates that feel amazing. You talk for hours, you go salsa dancing until 4 in the morning. He tells you how great you are, how much he loves having you in his life. But he never makes a move. The book says he might as well be signing your yearbook. He loves you as a friend. If he were in love with you, he wouldn't be able to stop himself. But what about the opposite scenario? You've been dating for a month, the sex was great, and then, it just stops. You're still staying over at his house, but now you just cuddle and sleep. It's confusing and, frankly, humiliating. Your first instinct might be to think it's because his feelings are getting so strong that he's scared. The book shuts this down immediately. A month into a relationship should be the peak of physical passion. If he's pulling away sexually this early, the reason is almost always simple: he's just not that into you. This is not the time to believe in the myth of fear of intimacy. The authors argue that if a man is truly into you, no fear will stop him from being with you. He'll go to therapy, he'll work on his issues, but he will not leave you in the dark, wondering why he doesn't want to touch you. And now we must venture into even darker territory. The undeniable red lines. Behaviors that have no excuse. First, cheating. The book is unequivocal on this. There is never a good excuse for cheating. It doesn't matter if you've gained weight, or if your sex drive is lower than his, or if he was drunk. Cheating is not an accident. It's not something that just happens. It is a conscious choice to betray your trust. A man who cheats on you is not just behaving like someone who isn't that into you. He's behaving like someone who doesn't even like you very much. Don't share the blame. Don't ask what you did wrong. The only thing you did wrong was choose a man who is capable of such profound disrespect. Next, the man who only wants to see you when he's drunk or high. You might think that alcohol gives him the courage to share his true feelings. When he's drunk, he's so affectionate, telling you how much he cares about you. But the book offers a sobering truth: you cannot believe what a man says when he's drunk. His drunken proclamations of love are meaningless. If he can only connect with you when his judgment is impaired, he's not connecting with you at all. He's connecting with a dulled-down, blurry version of you. He's using you, and the substance, to escape reality. You deserve a man who wants to be with you in the clear light of day, fully present and fully sober. And then there's the man who is a selfish jerk, a bully, or just a plain freak. He might be great in some ways, but he never helps around the house. He belittles you in front of your friends. He constantly criticizes your weight. Or he has bizarre quirks, like refusing to sleep in the same bed with you after sex. When you're faced with this kind of behavior, the book advises you to stop trying to figure him out. Forget his good qualities, his bad qualities, and his excuses. Ask yourself one simple question: is he making me happy? Not just some of the time. Not just when he's in a good mood. Does he, through his daily actions, show you that your happiness is a priority to him? If the answer is no, then it doesn't matter if he loves you. He's bad at it. And the result is the same as if he weren't that into you. This leads us to the final frontiers of dating pain: the breakup and the disappearance. When a man breaks up with you, it's over. It seems obvious, but it's amazing how we try to resist this reality. He breaks up with you, but then he keeps calling. He wants to know how you are, how your family is. You think, he must miss me. This is a sign he made a mistake, but the book warns you not to be flattered. Of course he misses you. You're missable. But he is still the same person who decided he didn't want you in his life. He is choosing, every single day, not to be with you. His calls are not about getting you back, they're about easing his own loneliness and guilt. He's using you as a cushion. The only call that matters is the one where he says, "I made a terrible mistake, and I want you back." Any other communication is just noise. And please, avoid the trap of breakup sex. It can be passionate and emotional, but it only confuses things and deepens the pain. It's called breakup sex for a reason. No one has ever renamed it "the sex was so good we got back together and lived happily ever after" sex. But perhaps the most painful experience of all is when he just disappears. Poof! He's gone. No explanation, no goodbye. This is where you might be tempted to create the most elaborate excuses of all. Maybe he's in a hospital. Maybe he's dead. The book gently suggests that while these things are possible, it's far more likely that he simply didn't have the courage to tell you he wasn't interested. In this situation, you will crave closure. You'll want to call him, to yell at him, to demand an answer. But the book says this is a waste of your precious energy. His silence is your answer. He has shown you, in the most cowardly way possible, exactly who he is. The best revenge is not anger, it's moving on with your life so quickly that he becomes a distant memory. Your closure doesn't come from him. It comes from you, when you decide that you are too valuable to waste another second on someone who wasn't even decent enough to say goodbye. Ultimately, this whole philosophy boils down to one final, empowering idea. You must stop thinking of yourself as the exception to the rule. We all love the stories of the woman who chased a man for years and finally won him over. The couple who broke up and got back together a dozen times before getting married. The woman who waited patiently for a married man to leave his wife, and they lived happily ever after. These stories give us hope. But the authors say these stories are dangerous. They are the exceptions. For every one of those stories, there are thousands of women who wasted years of their lives on men who were never going to come around. Think of yourself as the rule. The rule is, if a man treats you like he doesn't care, he genuinely doesn't care. The rule is, men who are into you will pursue you, call you, date you, and commit to you. You are an exceptional person, but you are not the exception to these rules. Embracing this isn't a pessimistic act. It's an act of profound self-respect. It's the moment you stop making excuses for him and start setting standards for yourself. It's the moment you stop wasting the pretty. And you realize that the 6 little words, "he's just not that into you," aren't a rejection. They are a liberation. They are your permission slip to stop waiting, to stop wondering, and to go find the person who is, without a doubt, completely and totally into you. Commentary. When you really boil it down, He's Just Not That Into You isn't a book about men at all. It's a book about self-worth. Its revolutionary power doesn't come from revealing some secret code of male behavior, but from holding up a mirror and asking us a very simple question: why are you willing to settle for so little? For decades, the world of dating advice was a complicated mess of rules and strategies. It was about learning how to play the game, how to be more mysterious, how to say the right thing at the right time. The responsibility was always on the woman to analyze, to adapt, to decode. This book came along and just swept all of that off the table. It said, stop trying so hard. Stop doing all the work. The right person for you won't require you to be a detective. Their interest will be obvious. What's so profound about this is that it shifts the focus from how can I get him to like me, to does his behavior meet my standards? It's a subtle but life-altering change. It's the difference between seeking validation and having inherent value. It reminds us that our time, our energy, and our hearts are precious resources. They shouldn't be given to people who leave us feeling confused, anxious, or unworthy. So, how can we start applying this liberating philosophy today? Here are a few simple actions you can take. First, the next time you find yourself in a state of confusion about someone, conduct a simple experiment. For just one day, stop listening to his words and look only at his actions. What did he do? Did he call when he said he would? Did he make a concrete plan to see you? Did he prioritize you? Actions don't have subtext. They are the truth. Let them be your guide. Second, set one non-negotiable standard for yourself. Maybe it's I will not be with a man who makes me feel sexually undesirable, or I will not get into a car with a man who hasn't already asked me on a proper date. Write it down. Commit to it. This isn't about creating a wall around your heart, it's about building a foundation of self-respect. And finally, become the friend who speaks this truth with kindness. The next time a friend comes to you, agonizing over a man's mixed messages, don't just offer the easy comfort of excuses. Gently help her see the simple reality of the situation. By helping her reclaim her power, you will reinforce your own. That was a summary of He's Just Not That Into You by Greg Behrendt and Liz Tuccillo. We certainly touched on the core principles today, but I'll be honest, a summary is like looking at a postcard of the Grand Canyon. It gives you the idea, but it can't replace the experience of standing at the edge and feeling the sheer scale of it. The real magic of this book is in the witty, compassionate way it lays out these truths, and how the stories make you feel seen. This summary is a map to help you decide if this journey is for you. If anything we've discussed today has struck a chord, I encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning, it's about experiencing a shift in perspective that can bring so much peace and clarity to your life. And if you found value in our time together today, a simple click on the like button and a subscription to this channel would mean the world. It ensures you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.